Now that I have finally finished all my 4 headset reviews, those would have been the HyperX Cloud 2, the HyperX Cloud Revolver, the Razer Manowar, and the Logitech 933. It's finally time for the big comparison, and I'm not going into all the details because after all that's what the initial review is there for, but I will go through all my categories and choose first, second and the third place, and yes, no fourth place because I'm already at the beginning disqualify one, the HyperX Cloud Revolver. So yeah, let's ditch those for a second. Because why? I can't recommend them at all because of the comfort and the metal band and how it works. If you don't know what I mean, just watch my review. I can't recommend them. The value is not okay. The sound would have been actually quite good, but overall, no, sorry, not. So that's why I would like to go to the first segment, the comfort. Let's start with place number 3, and I give that one definitely to the Logitech 933 because of one reason, and I've showed it in my review. Yes, they fall off like instantly all the time. Other than that, they would have been really comfortable because the foam here, especially the one on the top, they make a good appearance. They have great buttons and all that with volume controls and all that, so it is great. So if you don't move too much all around, it is fine, and it's not that it is a bad comfort. It's just not a stable one, and if you sit a little bit more quiet than I do, they are fine, but it's just that the other ones are better, like for example the Razer Manowar, because what I complained there in my comfort part in the review, that the ear cups are circular and my ears touch at the bottom and the top. But like I said also, if you give them a few seconds, adjust it, give the memory foam a little bit time to adjust, they actually sit really nice and comfortable. They also feel noticeably lighter than the Logitech, even though they are quite similar, but they don't move all that much around. Yes, if you lead all the way back, they will fall off as well, but it's not nearly a big issue as it was on the Logitech. So I definitely like them after all, and after a few minutes they actually feel like you haven't even had them on your head. So this is definitely nice, super big head, ear cups, comfortable, soft. So definitely a solid place number 2. The build quality is maybe not all that great, controls though are absolutely fine. Now first place, the cheapest one, the HyperX Cloud 2, and every time I put them on, I'm impressed once again, because no, they don't move at all. They sit where they are nice and comfortable to adjust. We have an only wired solution though, either with USB in this case or with headphone jack. The other ones are wireless options, so that's maybe a drawback if you want that, but definitely the comfort. Yes, they put still a little bit too much pressure on the jaw, but super comfortable. They just don't move at all. The ear cups is exactly right. We have 2 cups actually, one with velour and one with leather. I love the leather one, so definitely the first place here. Now in terms of functionality, where do you get the most? I would say this is the third place, the Razer Manowar. Because you can't use them wired, only wireless. You have a quite powerful software and that is fine and all good. Controls are there, so you would expect them to be better than the HyperX. No, those are just, or they are actually the second place for the one reason that you can either use them with a headphone jack on your smartphone or anybody else, which you can't do on the Razer. Then you have the option with an USB extension where you can use them. Even though you don't have a USB sound card, you can just use them, that works. And you have a 7.1 surround sound and all that. So that's why I like that, because it's just more flexible in the end. And the first place goes to the Logitechs, because why? You can use them wired, you can use them wireless, you have all those controls, which just gives you more versatility. They offer just more. The software is also more capable and the surround sound works better. And that's why I would like to go to the gaming. Which one should I give the third place for gaming? And that one is really, really close because I actually have a harder time. I will give the third place to the Razer, but really closely. They sound really great. Don't get me wrong. They have a really immersive sound, and I maybe should give them the second place, but I won't, because the bass was just a little bit too muddy. If the effects would have been a little bit nicer, but therefore the soundstage is better. And I will give the second place to the HyperX, even they don't quite deserve it. What I like though, very clear present mids with very detailed highs, and the bass was just more punchy. That was the important thing. It wasn't quite as deep because we have a bass boost on the Razers, but it was a really great punchy, great sound, and more balanced. So if you want a more balanced gaming experience where you can locate things better, I think that's the one. The better virtual surround sound was of course available on the Razers, but not nearly as good as the number 1 place, and that is the Logitech, because the surround sound here is absolutely mind-blowing, especially due to the amazing bass, but also the DTI 7.1 worked so extremely immersive into the action. You felt completely sucked in the game like I've never seen before. And there you will definitely appreciate one thing: the heavy, extreme bone rumbling bass. So if you like that, you will be super satisfied. You will get a great experience. If you want some more balanced sound that gives you more of the details and so on, something like Cloud will give you a better experience. But yeah, and let's actually keep them in the hand to get to the music part, because they get just a third place here because the bass is just a little bit too heavy. If you like more dubstep and hip hop and so, you could be fine, but it was the mids that were just a little bit too overshadowed by the highs, and bass a little bit too toned down. Even though we have quite clear and detailed highs, the overall balance just wasn't right. You can maybe fix that up in the settings, but especially by default or with some minor tweaking, it wasn't the best experience. Especially I take a point off of that as well, since I can't just relax in my chair, lean back and listen to it, because they will fall off. This is where the Razer Manor will also get a little bit, let's say a half a point deduction, because they fall off as well. But you can kind of, if they sit right, lean a little bit back, and that's great. And the overall sound balance here was a little bit better. I would have wished for a little bit of a tighter, more punchier bass, then they would have fought head to head with the HyperX, but it's not quite there because the bass was just a little bit too unresponsive. But the mids, super nice, because there the soundstage fits exactly as it should be, and the highs really detailed and clear. So overall, also very, very good for music. If you don't really need all that bass, just tone it down and you won't notice the muddiness so much. But obviously, top number one, HyperX. This is not just the best of all these that are reviewed, it is the best, personally for me, for my personal taste in terms of music, the best sounded headphone that I've ever used. Because yes, after all, it sounded, since it is a gaming headset, but it comes from an origin, from an headset stereo headphone, and you definitely noticed why, because the mids are so present, so in the middle, with a nice soundstage, clear highs, maybe a little bit more details there could be there, but you could just tweak them, but it's not even necessary because you can listen for hours and hours with those. The bass is very punchy, especially for music, still absolutely great. You won't get quite the deep, super extreme bass like you get on the Logitech, but man, the overall balance is set so close to perfection that I would have not known what I could wish for to have improved. So I absolutely love that, therefore place number one. Now, overall rating, should I give one? Okay, let's try it. Place number 3, the Razer Manor. Mostly due to the thing that they have a similar downside of the size and not that super comfortable fit. But my main reason to give them place number 3 is I think the bass. If they would have just fixed that, make that a little bit tighter, more precise, they could have maybe even won. But that's my main gripe. And the build quality isn't the very best one. Microphone is quite solid, I would say, definitely not a problem. Place number 2, and this is where it comes down to, if you want the best overall headphone, then the HyperX Cloud 2, especially for the money and the value, is still unbeatable, because great for gaming after all, and for music, and with the USB and everything, so versatile. So that's definitely the best all-rounder. If you want something good for music, or very good for gaming, and extremely good for music, then this one is it. But if you want gaming first and you don't really care about music, and you want that bone rumbling bass, you want that extreme amazing virtual Dolby surround sound with the soundstage that is unbelievable, especially in something like Doom, I was blown away, I got goosebumps. This is the first choice. It's not the most comfortable and it slips a little bit off, but I think it makes up for that just in terms of the gaming experience. I've just not had that before, and I didn't know what I was missing, because I got the HyperX Cloud Revolver first and the Cloud 2 with the Razer Manor 1. All were quite similar and had a great experience, especially the Razer Manor for gaming were a little better than the HyperX in that regard, in immersive soundstage. But once you hear these, and you are not looking for something super precise where you can maybe locate everything precisely, but want more of the details. Not saying that you can't locate stuff with that, because you can, but wow. For games, this is my first choice, and I almost bought them. And if they would have just fixed the low maximum volume on wireless, it's fine wired, but then you lose out on the virtual surround feature and the slipperiness of the headset. This would have been definitely the maybe even overall best one. Not because it's a great all-rounder, but just because the gaming experience, which since it should be a gaming headset, should be amazing, and that it is. But if you want to save money, I still get why so many people like this, and I'm still thinking about if I should maybe get these or not. I will just have to try a few more, because for gaming they are just not quite what I want, because after using the Logitech with that amazing bass and that virtual surround sound, this is not quite what I want. For music, I actually think just to pick one up for that reason, because I have not enjoyed music anymore like when with these, except of my like 8,000 euro home theater system. But this would have been it. I hope this kind of helped you, and if you have the Revolver and you are happy with them, leave that in the comments, because I personally don't get why you should be. Definitely all of the other threes are better choices. If you like it, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave any comments down below, and if you want to see maybe more reviews like these, subscribe. And wish you a nice day. Until next time, bye.